We will continue with the earlier point, with the earlier session. It is necessary to understand that democracy is not simply ruled by majority opinion. Just once get majority means not enough. You are not free to crush the minorities. The government should always respect, think about the minorities. The majority always needs to work with the minority so that government function to represent the general view. Majority and minority opinions are not permanent. Today's majority will change tomorrow minorities. Today's minority may become majority after some time. So these changes can be take place. Majority may go in a minority may come in a majority. This is not permanent. The majorities or minorities are not permanent. So we have to respect every, whether it is a majority or whether it is a minority. It is also necessary that rule by majority does not become rule by majority community. This is a very clear meaning of the democracy. It is also necessary that rule by majority does not become rule by majority community in terms of religion or a race or a linguistic group. The people who are elected by vote should rule it. While ruling it, they have to forget their majority community, the term of religion and race or linguistic. All these things they should forget and work with the minority. Rule by majority means that in case of every decision or in a case of every election, different persons and group may and can form a majority. Democracy remains democracy only as long as every citizen has a chance of being in a majority at some point of time. The democracy will be called remain as a democracy whenever it gives every citizen to be a part of majority. At least once one can become part of the majority. If someone is barred from being in a majority, if one is keeping away to one to being a part of majority on the basis of birth, then the democratic rule ceases to be accommodative for the person or a group. So it is the failure of democracy. The democracy should not bar any person to become a majority part on the base of birth. Every person who is taking birth in a particular country should be once part of a majority. May in the last sentence you will get confused. Read it twice, thrice. There is no any confusion. It says the democracy allows everyone to be a part of majority somewhere in at some time. Maybe minorities are there, but they become at least once as a part of majority. Which is the next criteria, which is assessing to the democracy, dignity and freedom of the citizens. There should be respect to every individual, every dignity, self-respect, and the freedom of citizens should be respected. Democracy stands much superior to any other form of government in promoting dignity and freedom of the individuals. Last year we have studied the merits and demerits of the democracy. If you remember the merits of and demerits of democracy, you will very best understand this lesson. Maybe some demerits are there, but then also the merits are very weightageable. That is why we can ignore the demerits and give the favor to the democracy. Promoting dignity and freedom of the individual. Every individual want to receive respect from fellow beings. Everyone wants respect. If one is disrespecting you, you don't like that. Whether the person is a having child, adult, senior citizen, working any work, doctor, engineer, sweeper, whoever is there, domestic worker, everyone should get respect. The work what he is doing should not be cause for the disrespect of him. So democracy should give or respect the dignity and freedom of every individual. Often conflicts arise among individuals because some feel that they are not treated with due respect. Many people says they are not treated in a respect. It is happening. The rich people always disrespect to the poor. The passion for respect and freedom are the basis of democracy. Democracies throughout the world have recognized this at least in a principles. This has been achieved in a various degrees in a various democracies for societies which have been built for long on the basis of subordination and domination. It is not a simple matter to recognize that all individuals are equal. Easily, we cannot inculcate among the people everyone is a or every individual is a equal. People always try to dominate on the minorities. People always try to dominate on the poor. It should be not happen, and this principle is a taught, given, respected by the democracy, which gives respect or which inculcates the value to respect all individuals or all individuals are equal. Take the dignity of woman. The woman dignity it is needing to respect all over the world, whether the country is developed or not developed. In every country, women are from ancient time dominated by the male faculty. Take the case of dignity of women. Most societies across the world were historically male-dominated societies. Long struggle by women have created some sensitivity today that respect to the women. Since the French Revolution, we are looking the participation of women and their work, how these people struggle, how women struggle to get respect, and how women struggle to get respect. But now people understand, at least women understand, people should not disrespect us. People should give, every person should give respect to every woman. This sensitivity arises in the course of time. A necessary ingredient of a democratic society. The women should treat equally, maybe same equally treating, not getting, but at least the thoughts came in a mind. Women also realized we have an equal right. No one can be disrespect us. That is important, which produced by the democracy. That does not mean that women are actually always treated with respect. But once the principle is recognized, it has become easier for women to wage a struggle against what is now unacceptable legally and morally. Women understand, realized what is unacceptable to them legally, what protections they are having, or morally, people cannot disrespect them. People, male faculty, or any other people may not respecting to the women, but at least women realized it should not happen with us. In a non-democratic setup, this unacceptability would not have legal basis because the principle of individual. In a non-democratic government, it is not happening. These legal bases are not provided to the women, or these thoughts not aware in the mind of people. Principle of individual freedom and dignity would not have the legal and moral force then. The same is true in the caste inequalities also. The democracy helps to reduce the caste inequalities, or people who belongs from the backward caste understand their dignity, their position. They realized now the upper caste people cannot treat them in this way. This realization is important. Maybe treatment is not getting properly, but at least one should understand his own respect. When we understand our own respect, our ability, then other society thinks our respect to you. Democracy in India has strengthened the claim of the disadvantaged and discriminated caste for equal status and equal opportunities. Since last year, we have seen how the Indian democracy trying to provide opportunities to the backward caste with a different ways. It is strengthened to give the equal opportunities or equal economical status or against working of the discrimination. There are instances still of caste-based inequalities and atrocities. Totally, the discrimination or atrocities are not removed from the society, but this lack of moral and legal foundations, but somehow it is made aware to the people this is a wrong. Perhaps it is the recognition that makes ordinary citizen value their democratic rights. The ordinary person understand their fundamental rights or the democratic rights. Ex- Expectation from democracy also functions as the criteria for judging any democratic country. What is most distinctive about democracy is that its examination never gets over. The examination of democracy is not going to over. One criteria completing, another criteria may rising. One completing, the economic status may get more valuable, or on a level, the social discrimination disparities may raise the question. So the examination is not going to end of this democracy. Always the tools are changing. In the first chance, class, you have assessed in a different way. In the fifth class, you have assessed in a different way. When you passed out eighth class, in the ninth year, you have assessed in a different way. So the assessment tools are changing day by day. In that way, the assessment of democracy is also changing in the course of time. The examination of this democracy is not going to end. One test passed, another test will be there. Examination never gets over. Democracy passes one test, it produces another test. Once you pass the first standard, you have to pass the class second also. So one passed, it means not the test is over, another produces. As people get some benefits of democracy, they ask for more and wants to make democracy even better. Once completed, they ask for the another. That is why when we ask people about the way democracy functions, they will always come up with more expectation and many complaints. It always in every field it happens. People not get satisfied all over. Once one expectation completes, another expectation arises. The fact that people are complaining is itself a testimony to the success of democracy. The complaints should become, when complaints are coming, that time we can say we are somewhere getting success. It shows that people have developed awareness and the ability to expect and look critically at power holders and the high and the mighty. The awareness about the government, its work, now arising in the mind of people. People are asking questions, those who are holding power. People are criticizing to the power holders, to the government. It is also one success of the democracy. A public expression of dissatisfaction with democracy shows the success of democratic project. The expectation, dissatisfaction itself shows the success of the democratic project. जो करतो तोच चुकतो. तो काहीच करणार नाही, त्याच्या चुकाच होणार नाहीत आणि त्याच्या चुकाच नाही झाला तर कोण पॉइंट आउट करणार त्याला. ज्या ठिकाणी कंप्लेंट्स येत आहेत, त्या ठिकाणी चुका होत आहेत, म्हणजे काहीतरी घडतंय, काहीतरी होत आहे. This is the case of the democracy. If complaints are there, it means something is happening there. It transforms people from the status of subject into that of a citizens. This is a transforming to the people to becoming a good citizen of the country. Most individuals today believe that their vote makes a difference to the way the government is run and to their own self-interest. Now people understand, realizing day by day, importance of their vote. Their one vote can be change the government or how it contributes to make the government. So these are the assessments of the democracy we have seen. In this way, we have seen about the democracy. This was the last chapter of the complete course which started in the class 9. From class 8, you are studying about the constitution, about the democracy, about the governing pattern. Last year also we have studied one part about the democracy. Now this what given by the democracy we have studied. If you have any question about it, if you have any question generally, maybe it is not related to your syllabus, but generally you think this is why happening in a democracy, how it happens, how the democracy works, you can ask me, we will solve the problem. The India is a democratic country, largest democracy in the world. Always the Indians respect the democracy or being part of the best democracy. I hope my all students will inculcate the best things which are helping to produce best outcomes of this democracy. In this way, we have completed our course. If you have any question, you can ask.